everybody, 250 students that were in the tennis court playing tennis for the next 5 or 6 hours. After they finish tennis, they go take a shower. They come to the cafeteria, have some dinner, and then they hit the book for 2 hours, and everybody got to be in bed by 10 hours. So that's the routines. On the weekends, the kids were bused to different sites around Sarasota, Bradenton, Tampa area, where they go out and compete in tennis and what is called USTA tennis tournament, and that's how they hone the skills. And those who go out and do well on the tournaments, they get recognition, and a lot of the colleges don't know who they are because you get a national ranking, and that's how you develop the students.
So you go to tournament on the weekends, and how is in the kit? What was the challenge rooming with the room situation? Was it one per room, two per room? How you manage that? Girls room, girls in a different dormitory, boys in a different dormitory?
Well, we have 4 buildings of 8 apartments in each building. So obviously we house the girls in one area, and we have the boys in another area. And the kids said the rooms were 2 bedroom, 2 bedroom each, 2 bathroom each. So I was go out there in order to put 4 kids in the apartment. We have to go out and buy some beds. And when we get a little crowded, then I buy some more. I went and buy another bunk bed. So in other words, we used to put in 4 kids to a bedroom, and 1 bedroom, and then the 4 kids in another bedroom. So in one apartment we have 8 kids, which they all share the common area of the living room and the kitchen. The kitchen obviously was used for the storage because the kids were not allowed to have any cooking food in there. They were allowed to have the refrigerator so they can keep the whatever things that needs to be refrigerated. And then we had the common cafeteria style where the kids would come and eat all the 3 meals. So that was the routine for the kids in the apartment.
Mm-hmm. You have so many kids, and how you feed them?
Well, in the early days, before even we started the academy, we feed them with. We used to have a motel up in Manatee Avenue. Mr. Louis Mars lent us the money to buy it, and so in the morning we go there and make a lot of peanut butter and jelly sandwiches and an apple or some sort of food for the kids. So the kids, when they went to school, they took what we call a lunch bag. And then at night, we had a person like a chef, one of our pros. He used to be by the name Ted Beeman. He used to be the chef, and then he'd get off the court at 4 o'clock, and they'll go out and spend 2 hours in the kitchen and cook the meal for the kids. But generally, the kids will have a cereals in the morning, sandwiches for lunchtime, and then we had a fairly good cooked meal for the kids toward the dinner time.
Yeah. You mentioned Ted Mi'kmaq. Yeah, Ted Mi'kmaq was also a lawyer, right?
Take me, man. He's one of the smartest guys that in our staff, the pros that we have, and he had a lot of knowledge about cooking, know how to cook a meal for people. So we let him go at 4 o'clock in the afternoon, so he can go out and stir up the kitchen and prepare a meal for anywhere between 40 and 60 kids at the first years of the academy.
Yeah. Yeah. So what was your function at that time? When Ted is cooking, you had a multiple function. Can you share some of us?
Well, yeah. One of my functions here, I just made sure they go around, and sometimes I'd be a helper to Ted on the kitchen. I did make sure that we had enough balls around for the kids. made sure the laundry facilities were available for the kids, and I made sure my job overall was to provide everything works and be in place for whatever needs the kids may have. They need to go to the doctor, or else we have to have one of our employees to take them to the doctor. We have the kids need to have the practice the string. We have to have the practice done for that particular kid. And overall, my job was to provide everything so that when something is needed, it was available for the students.
So you mentioned that Mr. Marks, Louis Mark, gave a $1.2 million. Did he want his money back, or what was the string attached?
Mr. Marks, we were lucky to meet that gentleman in the Puerto Rican days, and then he kind of we stayed together with conversation with him about coming to Florida. So Mr. Marks says, look, here's $1.2 million. If you make it, you can pay me someday. If you don't make it, don't worry about it. You owe me nothing. That was his understanding with us. And after 8 years, after we sold the academy to Mr. Mark McCormick in 1987, we paid him $2.5 million for the $1.2 million investment on his car. So he was a very smart guy. He knew that we're going to work hard, whatever it takes, 24 hours a day. And he knew that, but he saw a vision in us that we were working to whatever it takes to accommodate the kids and provide something that was unique in the world in those years. And he was not afraid to invest the money. And if he got it back, great. If he didn't get it back, that was okay for him. No, he did the right thing in those years.
Yeah. And Mr. Mark's sons used to attend the academy, right?
Yeah, he had 2 daughters and well-talented girls. They played a lot of tennis, a lot of years at the academy. Also, he had 2 sons, Louis and Jeffrey Marks. And the kids were there, even with Louis Marks went to Princeton, and he got into the tennis team in Princeton because of the years he worked. He trained at the academy. So a lot of people saw that there was a lot of good things in the future for this kid. If you work hard 5 or 6 years, and then something you will develop your talent, and that talent, all the people around the country will see that you have talent, and they will not hesitate and offer you a scholarship because the sports in America is the greatest.
Now we are going toward the end of this first part, and the second part we're going to spend on you building your own place after so many years at the academy. I know that for sure because we all worked together before. I used to work with you, and you, toward the end, made a move to build your own place. So if you're joining us, Seco Radio, today our guest is a legend, Julio Moros. And Julio is teaching us today about the history of the Bollettieri Tennis Academy. So Julio, let's talk about a little bit about you. After how many years at the academy before you decide to go on your own?
Well, in 1987, obviously, a lot of people have noticed the name of the academy. And then there was a gentleman with the name Mark McCormick. He was a pretty big investor. He used to be Arnold Palmer agent, and apparently he saw some potential for tennis. So after knowing the academy, what he has done, what he stood for tennis and the kids and so forth, then he approached Nick to buy the academy. So we sold, finally, after a few months in negotiation, we sold the academy to Mr. Mark McCormick. So obviously, I was no more in charge of the daily duties of the academy. So I felt that perhaps, I was still a young guy and maybe I can venture on my own. So I went out there and Nick introduced me to a guy that used to own a bunch of land out there in the around what is now the University Parkway nowadays. And there was 3 courses over there with a lot of land around it. And the gentleman was by the name of Piero Rivolta, was developing a big concept of houses and apartments around the university area. So he was Nick.
All right, hold that thought, Julio. We're gonna take a small break, and then we come back for the second part.
Okay.